Hey, what is up, everybody? Let me get my, all right, let's see here. All right, so I'm just getting myself together here on Instagram, so this is why I have a little delay, you know what I mean? Cool, I'm up. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is I am now. If you don't know who I am Barry Gaines of GainesCon Film Festival in Las Vegas, which is an action-oriented film festival, as well as Gaines Entertainment, which is my media company because I'm a filmmaker, writer, director as well. So I have those two things going, and they all go hand in hand because they all stay in the same genre, which is the action, sci-fi, fantasy, and horror genres. Now, of course, when you're working, of course, for corporate, and I got some corporate stuff going too, but anyway, that's something else. But that is who I am. And today, I just wanted to start the year off with some videos on uh, my business aspects of many things. And I've been through quite a bit, seen quite a bit. Haven't seen everything, obviously. I'm always learning. So I'm all my ears are always perking, my eyes are always open, and I'm always ready to listen. You have something to say, you could teach me something too, then let's go for it. Let's teach each other things. But today I'm starting off this year with actually starting a film festival. Now, as I mentioned, right, I am the CEO of the GainesCon Film Festival in Las Vegas, which is an action-oriented film festival for action films. And I just wanted to go ahead and you know what? To explain to people what it is a film festival is for, how to develop one, because I'm still in development of one. So you could take this journey with me as I grow with my team, and just what it means to and how other film festivals work. And they all work a little differently. We all have like a kind of a basis of who we are, but they all kind of work a little differently, right? So and let's start this off with like the famous ones, right? So you have, of course, Cannes, which is like the king, you have others like Berlin International Film Festival. You have a bunch of others, right? And they all kind of have their own stick, right? They have their own team of people looking at certain types of films and everything else. And a lot of times, there are a lot of films out there in certain genres, especially my genre, that don't get picked up because other film festivals, larger film festivals, don't really. That's not their thing. That's not really their genre. It's not what they're looking for, or what their people are looking for, and that's fine. See, so today I want to say, you know what? If you're interested in opening up a film festival that's just not like all the others, I would say go for it because that's what we're doing here at GainesCon Film Festival in Las Vegas. You see, GainesCon Film Festival, the reason I bought it, that I started this a couple years ago was because of what I just mentioned about having films that's in the genre realm and wanting people to go see it, just wanting to kind of get it out there and see what people think. Now, of course, you can throw it out there on YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and have people look at it. But it's nothing like having a film festival accept it and then have other people who may not be in the genre just check out what you've done or give you a chance for, say, sales agents or someone, distributors, anybody who may be in the audience that can assist you in your path into the entertainment field. So what GainesCon is like this. We say this. Um, I know something's going on. So what I say is this. Being that I'm an action, sci-fi, fantasy, and horror lover, I wanted to do a film festival, develop a film festival that just caters to that. Because when you think about it, when we're all growing up, when we're young, what kind of films really get us going? What films inspire us to be in the entertainment business that wants to be a director, a writer, an actor? What type of films you remember growing up as a kid, right? And that really sparked it. And it wasn't a love story. Not saying there's nothing wrong with that. It was films that had excitement, films that actually pulled you into another world and taught you about something you had no idea about. And you said to yourself, I want to do that. I want to write that. Like, that looks cool. That looks fun. Because that's what we want as being movie lovers, viewers, is to enjoy ourselves, is to have fun, to learn something. And I really think when it comes down to the sci-fi action horror genre, we really learn a lot. Now, this is why I love the genre so much. Number one, let me get this out so you understand. Drama is always the basis of any story. I don't care what it is, documentary, animation, drama is the base, and then you build up from there. And that is what, so I love my dramas. I love adventure stories, of course, obviously, and some love stories. But drama is always the basis. So if you write a story, if you're into whatever, always understand you got to have that as your base, and you just build on top of it and kind of move it around the way you want to. But for me, the sci-fi action genre, what I love about that is this. Have you ever thought about this, guys? Have you ever thought about this? And this is very true. That the genre itself is the only genre that could put in other genres and still stay as the genre, right? In sci-fi and action, you can always throw in romantic comedy, obviously as the play, as the characters. You can throw in documentary situations to show past or maybe the future or something. And you can also obviously put in a love story, you know, and everything is there on top of the action and everything else. What's the basis of everything? A great story, something that can really connect people in. And what's also great about it is that it brings people to other places. It opens people's minds, expands them. People ask me before in other interviews, "Hey, why do you like sci-fi action so much? Like, what is it? Why don't you lean on the other, you know, the other genres as well?" I said, "I know I do lean on them. I do. But what I love about this is that it brings me to other places and teaches us other things. I always say I don't want to see my friends and family on the screen. I have no problem with them. I have no problem with my family and friends, guys. You know what I mean? But it doesn't teach me anything. I'm not learning anything. I'm not being taken somewhere that I can't visit again. Or when I leave the theater, you know, I can't, it's nothing new. So I'm looking at something I see every day, and I don't want that. And that's what I love about when it comes to people who write sci-fi or action or horror, or fantasy, those that create it, the people behind it who create the costumes, the set designs. That takes imagination somewhere different, somewhere you really have to kind of go deep into your soul and your mind and say, what can I do? Not only to make it look cool, but for you as the audience to really believe in what I am doing. And that is the challenge. And that challenge I love. That is why I love sci-fi, fantasy, and horror so much. And this is why I created GainesCon Film Festival. The GainesCon Film Festival is not only to showcase these great films, from around the world, which we've done right now for 2 years, is that it's also designed to help people kind of get their face in front of people who can make a difference. And that's what we are building to do, to make sure that we get people in the theater, people in-house that can actually say, hey, listen, you know what? I'm doing something. Hey, why don't we talk about it and let's build together? And that is what we are about. And that's what a film festival really always should be about. And I don't, and this one thing I do not believe in when it comes to film festivals. Now, understand, I'm a smaller film festival, so I'm not the large ones and everything. But one thing I do take to heart is that as a creator, you put your film out there in the film festival, you get admitted, right? You get taken. You're like, oh, right, we're going. You have your family, friends, everyone's coming in like, yeah, you know what I mean? But when you get there, you feel like this is not even about you anymore. You see your film, because you are, in a slot, and then you get into that slot and you have people in the theater watching it with you. But all in all, when you leave that theater and walk around, sometimes you feel it's not even about you. I know everyone has a lot of material and everybody's walking around, but you want the owners, you want the people who are running the show, who's running that place, always make it prevalent that this is about you as the creator. It's about you being showcased, and hopefully that you can go to a different level, the higher level, continue on due to us establishing this place, which is the film festival, which is this place that we are film that we are taking that we are building within these couple of days. You want to feel like that, and I'm afraid that a lot of them do not do that. They really don't. I've been to plenty, and a lot of times I feel that the celebrities are more important than us. And that shouldn't be the case when you go to a film festival. When you go to a film festival, you feel that it's you and your colleagues and your fellow creators and filmmakers, artists, writers, visual effects artists, stunt performers. All you guys are in this together, and you in this place because the owner said, "This is about you guys. Let's showcase your work and see where we can bring your stuff. Is where can we push you? Who's Let's bring some people." With in this place that we can actually say they can see your stuff and maybe have a chance to spark someone's eye and say, I want to speak with you. And not just that, just being around your fellow colleagues, your fellow creators, and all you guys building together. That is what GainesCon does. That is what we've been doing. And we want to get stronger with that. That's very important to us. So, when you come to GainesCon here in Las Vegas, I am there, bro. And I built this whole thing not for the celebrities or whatever. I built it for you. And that is what I'm always going to keep as the mantra. That's the heart of what GainesCon is. See, we have a saying: we showcase, educate, and produce. And this is all about for you. That's why we're always looking for support. We're always looking for those who want to kind of contribute their talents to help our talents move to the next level. That is what we are. We are incubator of talent when it comes to the sci-fi, action, and horror fantasy genre. That's us. And that includes everything part of it. I mean, that includes you know, um, visual effects artists, stunt performers, cosplay performers, writers, novelists, directors, actors, everything. This is what we are an incubator of when it comes to that. Because unfortunately, a lot of us, and I've seen this, and I met quite a few people like this because I was one of them. Because I have two films on Tubi and Apple TV and various other platforms that I directed, wrote, and produced, with no money, with just a team of people who are fantastic, who I love, who are friends to this day, that, we just wanted something and created something a lot of time. And then as we finished it and pushed it out there, we knew there was some kind of, levels of quality and scope, that had to reach, to hit some other, film festivals. We understood that. I understood that. But even when you send it to maybe just some film festivals that maybe you're not going for the big ones, you're going for like a mid one that we can all help each other out, you don't get accepted solely because of your genre. And I, being the owner of film festivals now, I mean a film festival, GainesCon, obviously, I've come across our talents, right? Our guys, they come to me with really good movies. I mean, movies with money in them. You can tell they really put a lot of time into it. This is not a cheap film. And they tell me they weren't able to get into film festivals. What's wrong with that? That's the problem right there. And that is what GainesCon is trying to eliminate. And this is what we want to help those that want to be involved in the industry, in this genre, or have it, have something that, contributes to it or whatever. But they just can't get into film festivals they really want to get into. And this is what we are here to do, here to provide this. So let's see. Yeah, yeah, I know. You got people out there, you got idiots. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? This is a problem with the world today. You got some people calling people names out here. So anyone out there, right, that wants to call people names or whatever, the hell with you. Doesn't really matter to me because you know why? Everyone knows who you are. Now you know. So now when you come across, they know who you are. So you got problems. But this is a problem. But you know what? Pay that no mind. And the hell with them. We just worry about the people who can see our light, the people who can really relate to what we want to do and how we do things. So I'm telling you about what GainesCon is about and what we do and why we do it. Now, are you interested in um, maybe getting a film festival for yourself? Something small, maybe around the neighborhood, maybe around your place, maybe around your neighborhood, or anywhere in your state. The first thing you should always think about if you want to build a film festival, the first thing is exactly what kind of films are you looking to promote. Like, you have to kind of say to yourself, let's see, ha, let's say, do I want high level only? Do I want low level sometimes? Do I want, what kind of films are you looking to promote? And then also, then after you, before you do anything, before you put out any money, before you hire anybody, whatever, but you just want one. It has to be more than just people that you know. You got to say, all right, what's the level of films I want? Then when you decide what level of films you want, then you say, what subject matters really hit home for me, like personally for yourself, that you can get into. That when you meet these artists and you see the artist's work, you get excited and want to push it out there and promote it. Meet them, collaborate with them. That is what you have to kind of really just decide what you want to do. You know what I mean? Once you figure that out, you figure like, okay, I know the hierarchy, how, what I won't accept, what I will accept, what subject matter I will and will not accept because whatever. And then after that, when you kind of figure all that out, when you start pushing it out there, have a direct type of like saying this is what we represent. This is the subject matters that we represent, and this is what we like and what we don't like. You know what I mean? So that is when you get that together and you good, then I'll say, okay, now, next part is very important because as a filmmaker myself and all the artists I come across and know, we really are cinema lovers. Most are, of course, you go on the computer now, see things or whatever, we understand that. But when you have your own material and you create it and you put all this time into it, you want to see it on the biggest and the baddest platform you could possibly get it in. And that would be a theater, be a local theater. It could be a chain like AMC, Regal, whatever it is. So you want to really respect the people's art by placing their artwork in the best possible medium you can, which you can afford. I understand, money is tight on everything. We don't have the money yet, but you want to do your best. And these theaters, like I said, local or, national ones, do give you the opportunity to rent these places out at a reasonable rate. And also, too, you get paid, as you get paid down. Some of them you get paid, half here, maybe a quarter here, pay a little bit later. You can do that because what people want to do is not only watch their work on a big screen, but be able to be comfortable, be able to kind of feel that feeling of knowing that, wow, their work is going to be in an establishment that they go to themselves with their family. That the whole world knows, that that's AMC, that's Regal. Well, my film is actually going to be projected on those very screens I saw Avatar on, or I saw John Wick on, like those very screens. And that is alluring to a lot of people. So when you do open up your film festival, you know, you want to say, hey guys, if I select you, you're going to be shown on this. And that is what is wonderful. And that is what you always want to do. And understand, you don't have a film festival without the talent, the filmmakers, the writers, the visual effects artists, everyone who collab and make that product great and fun and interesting and alluring. Those are the guys, those are the men and women that you serve. Those are the men and women that are the reason you have a film festival. So you want to create this whole world for them. Understand that. Even if you're able to get a celebrity in there just to kind of bring it in, we know it's marketing. You know what I'm saying? It's marketing. You know what I mean? So if you have some names or whatever you want to bring in, like, yeah, I need the numbers, bro. You know what I mean? But you bring them in, yeah, but don't make the whole day and the whole thing about them. They're there to contribute to what you already are doing, and the artists understand it's about them. Like I said before, a lot of film festivals don't do that. Not all, obviously, but there are a lot out there that do that. And when you're in there, you just don't feel like you're part of anything. You're just a number or you're just some like cattle. You don't want that. So, as a director of a film festival, a creator of a film festival, and you want to bring all the talent in together, make this big incubator, showcasing work, and start building your business that way, start building your name up and strong. That's the first thing you always want to kind of keep in mind is how I treat people. And treating people the way you want to be treated is very important. People do not want to work with someone. They do not want to be part of anything where they don't feel like anything or they get insulted or what have you. You want to be a place that people can bring their family if need be and relax, sit down and watch your work and others' work and appreciate it and just start to collab with people together. And that is what a film festival is about. So if you do decide to create one, just make sure it's all about the feeling. Everything else is just, icing on the cake. And I mean that if you got the funds to get the best theater, you got the funds to market like crazy. You know what I mean? And you got the funds to do whatever you need to make this event look great, then so be it. Then awesome. But all of that icing is nothing without the cake. And the cake is the heart, how people feel, and how it's all this, and how you are respecting their work, your work. That is what it's all about. So this is all about just building a film festival, trying to get an idea of just an overall view of, if you are interested in building a business where you're showcasing people's work, you're a filmmaker, a writer, director, what have you, producer, whatever you are, you know, and you want to build like an event to get the event for your fellow artists, keep that in mind. Of course, now listen, we want to make money, right? You want to make money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You do. But you won't make any money if people don't care about what you're doing or they don't care about you. And you always want to, of course, make sure that when you're displaying these people's work, that is displaying right. So make sure make sure everything is working pretty good. You know what I mean? Then also you want other things too, that people who are not say they just came in to check it out. You know, they just hang with their boys, hang with their homegirls. You know what I mean? And they coming in and just they're not into movies as much as they are, but they're just hanging. Try to get something that everybody can relate to, not just if you got skin in the game. You know what I mean? So try to have something else, a raffle, something else, that people can have a good time in. Also, you have many of the film festivals do this as well, which is very common. I don't do it as much as mine. I'll tell you why in a second. But they have a Q&A, right? You have a Q&A, you see a movie, you have a Q&A. Now, Q&A is really good when you have a long movie, a full length film, like a 2 hour, whatever. And if that's like one of them, and you have a Q&A, cool. But I'm just saying, if you have a few theaters that you rented out, then you can kind of separate that and you can give time, because full lengths take a lot of time and they take a lot of your time. The 2 hours here, you can put in maybe 8 hours. You only can put like maybe four tops, you know what I mean, movies, and that's it. And you may get a bunch coming in, and you may get 30, 40, 50 films, and you're like, man, how I'm gonna showcase all these, you know what I mean? So of course you can go to the theater, like I said, or you can also go online. You can also use a company I use, just let you know, it's called EOFlix, and you can go on there and you can have a virtual film festival where people just add their stuff. You open it up to the world for a certain amount of time, and people can go in there and stream it. But there's the alternative is for people to come together, to see each other, to meet each other, to talk to each other, see their work on the screen, be in the same environment, and talk. So to get back to what I was saying about having like a 2 hour screen, and having a Q&A. Q&A is cool. But Q&A is really, really good. What I noticed over the years is this. If you have a name on the very movie that you're looking at, it helps. It's like cool, people will see it. If it's a very localized movie and it's locally for people, that helps because everyone knows who they are and they want to express why they did what they did. But if it's something where it's kind of like in between or whatever, and you have a Q&A of a movie that maybe some people saw at the time they were there, or maybe came in late and they have a Q&A on something, it's cool. But for my experience, it's okay. It's not really a big deal. It's more important to get people's work shown. It's more important for people to kind of have the time to mingle and talk together afterwards or before, the hallway or whatever, where that's what you want to kind of always understand, that break, that stop, like you see more and just stop like that. It just kind of kills, for me, it kills momentum. So then when the Q&A is going, everyone's like, okay, now we're going to show some more. Then that has people kind of you start to see this, right? And I know people who have gone to film festival, what I'm talking about. When that lights go out and the new movie starts, you start to see people start to, mm, because you killed momentum. You know what I mean? So that's why for now, like I do a lot of shorts. And of course, when short, you want to do a Q&A for every short, obviously, right? So that's why I don't do it. But if I did have a special, like a long movie and it's a Q&A, I do a very short one. I probably speak to the director real fast and, have people see who it is, and that's it. Like I won't get the whole crew up there and hang out there for like a half hour to talk about a movie. You know, it's cool. It's, ego tripping a little bit, teaches people some stuff, just to be honest what it is, but it kills momentum. And if you're going to say, hey, listen, after this we're going to show some more movies, you kind of killed it now. And then so then because you always want to keep people in the seats. That's the key. Keep people there. You know what I mean? People want to talk to people. People want to meet people. And your job too is to keep people there. And as a director of a film festival, your job is to keep butts in the seats. And you don't want to kill that. So Q&A is nice. It depends on what it is, but for me, I don't really use it that much. I don't want to kill the momentum. If you want to speak to people and everything else, we'll do that outside. You know what I mean? You go out of the theater, sit out there, talk and everything, and then you can talk as long as you want, however you want. Everybody can be there. You can sign an autograph if you are at that level, or just talk or whatever. But the people who came there to look at movies, who came there to see talent, they want to still be entertained by new subjects coming up, new storylines. And that's why you don't want to kill. So don't do it too much. Do it outside. Inside, people know when they go into that state, they go into that theater, a movie is running. There's something there, man. People coming in, yo, what movie is this? Yo, what movie is this? Yo. And see, at GainesCon, like on mine, I do shorts because of that. And I love that because most people don't have the money to do a full length film. It takes a lot of money, a lot of time. Obviously, there's a lot out there, but most times people have the money and they have the time to do a short, and they want that showcase and they want a chance for people to see it. That's what GainesCon, what we do, and that's what we are about. We're there to help you guys, man. And you guys help us. You know what I mean? We can't survive without your talent. You know what I mean? And we want your talent to move forward. And that's why we always do our best to try to put people that can help you move forward. Always interviewing, having people on board to watch your work. Like this year, we had a director, we had a composer, we had a producer, we had a stuntman. We had these people here that are looking at your work. You know what I mean? They may see something. You know what I mean? Or you can reach out to them, and say, hey, listen, did you see my stuff or whatever? And, I saw your stuff. I heard your interview. It's kind of cool. You see, that all comes together, man. It all starts to blend together. People start to see each other of like minds. And that is the key. You want to go to a place of like minds. So if you are an action, sci-fi, fantasy, or horror writer, director, visual effects artist, producer, director, actor, someone who's interested in that and you love it, don't say, oh man, you know what? I'm not going to really do that. It's too much money or what have you. It's there's workarounds for all of that. You know what I mean? And just don't do that and say, you know what? Forget about it. I just go make a drama or something like that. And it looks like that's the only thing that these film festivals they accept. Dramas, romantic comedies, documentaries. You know what? I just do that just to get my name out there. And then when I get out there, I can kind of maneuver and see where I want to be. No, don't do that. I know a few people who did that. Like it's not what you are. And then when the movie comes out, when it's done, it's not, you can see the lack of something. You're not sure what it is. It's like the rhythm, it's like the dedication to certain aspects. There is, selection of scenes that you selected, some things that will make you as a viewer say, is something missing? You know what? It's heart. It's the passion for that. So if you have a passion for something, whatever you want to do, you do that. Because trust me, it may sound corny, but people will see that. They will feel it through the screen. They will see that. You know what I mean? Listen, I don't you have to take me for, like listen to me. You know what I mean? I'm just a guy online talking right now. You know what I mean? But I would suggest think about it. How many times you seen something where you said, you know what, the movie wasn't that great, or this wasn't that good, but it was all right though. It was some kind of good. It's good, not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. Because you know why? Normally that person who put it all together was passionate about it, and you saw that love and you saw that excitement. Same thing that we all get excited about, right? Someone gets excited, did I get excited? Someone is sad, I get sad. The magic of movies and the magic of emotions. That's what it's about. So that's why this segment that I'm on right now, that I'm talking to you guys right now for all this time about, establishing the film festival. It's not just about showcasing work. It's about showcasing people's feelings. It's about collaborations. It's about a communal moment. It's about getting people to come together to build a new world. World built together, right together, produce together, build new things, go to the next level for the next generation, continue on and do what you love to do. There's too many distractions out there, especially today, where, you just not sure what to do because you may be afraid someone's going to say this and that. The other. Don't be afraid of nobody saying anything. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid of none of that. Because you know what? Your talent's always going to outlive anyone's freaking hate or whatever. You know what I mean? Your talent is you. No one could take that from you. And remember, it's you. This I learned a long time ago. There are a lot of people doing what you want to do, right? So it doesn't make you that special. What makes you special is that there are a few that do it really, really well and really love what they do and really work hard to punch through to make sure that their work, their talent, their ideas are shown, are showcased somehow. That is what you want to be. You want to be those few. So you push through no matter what, all right? Because it's always going to be a time that when you do all of that, maybe not right away, but it's going to build up and you're going to grow a lot as your work takes this momentum across. I know this, you know. I give an example. Not saying it's the biggest thing, I'm quite sure, because you probably haven't heard from it, heard of it. But like my film, for example, A World of Worlds, you can see on Tubi and you can see on Apple TV and a few others like Hoopla and Plex. You can see the movie. We had no money, but you know what? At first, yeah, we got it into a few places, yes, and we did win some awards. But still, a lot of people don't know about it. And it is because it's independent, of course not. There's too many out there. But what I did notice is that in the beginning, a lot of no's, a lot of rejections. But as it stayed out there, right? Excuse me, I just got a little cold. Excuse me. Excuse me. Woo. Anyone out there that said bless you, thank you very much. So it builds, man. It really does. And you'd be surprised. Next thing you know, you're getting emails and stuff like that about people who liking it or interested or want to work with you or what have you. It does happen, guys. It really, really does happen. Just make sure that you do what you want to do no matter what. And you push freaking through. And if nobody wants to work with you on that, then the hell with it. You get somebody else. Make it very simple. When you create, and that's what I love about having a film festival like myself in GainesCon. I love the fact that most of the people that submit their work are those people because they understand. They said to me, I've tried to put this in other film festivals. They won't even take it, and I'm looking at it like, yo, that's a really quality film. Yeah, I know, but they won't take it just because it's a freaking action film or a sci-fi film or has a sci-fi element into it or something like that. And they won't take it. And I'm like, I don't know why. And let me just pivot for a second. Be quite honest. Those are the movies that make the most money. Those are the movies that inspire most people to be in the industry. And those are the movies that people not all of them can bring the family to, but also are excited to see, are ready to go. That's why studios will always give them a lot more money. Look at Doomsday coming. You know what I mean? Look at all the big films coming, Spidey. Look at Odyssey that's coming out right now. Hmm? Those are fantasy films. Those are sci-fi films. Those are action films. And it's not just simple stuff. To do these, let me tell you something. To do these films, guys, and all directors, producers out there can attest to this. It takes a lot more prep than other films, just to be honest. Depending upon the level, but few and far between. But for the most part, it really does. It's because of the physicality that it takes, the planning it takes, how dangerous every scene can be, and what you have to prep. Businesses, I mean, other vendors you have to hire that you won't hire in the dramas, you have to hire in these for safety. And also, too, out of all that, just knowing that you have to try to make this a cohesive story while everything's moving like crazy for everyone to believe and get into the characters. You still have to have character build in between all this chaos. It's not like a drummer you can sit there in a suit and everything and just talk and establish it. You know, we have to do everything at once. That is very, very, just understand what that is about. You know what I mean? And that's why I love it so much. But just to be honest, and that's why I can understand sometimes certain film festivals do not allow them in, especially when they're done well. I can see like, those that are, whatever, they're put together very well, but those that are done well, the time, the prep is there, everything is there. Sound design is great. Cinematography is awesome. Set design is well on point. Everything you need for a great story, and they still don't get in there. You know, and like I say, that's why I created what I created with GainesCon. It's because we want to give them a chance. We want to showcase those guys and say, listen, you don't have to do anything else. Do what you want to do. If you want to do an action short, go for it. You know what I mean? I'll, if it's good enough, I'll get you in. We'll showcase this. We'll work this together. You know what I mean? Because trust me, you don't have to wait until a big studio or a mid-sized studio comes getting you because they're the only ones that's going to support you or fund you because they're a studio and you can't get into just a film festival just to showcase your work. It's a lot more work. It takes a lot more time and less people have a chance to get their work done if they think of it that way. It's obviously it's very, very hard. So instead of doing that, one is going to a film festival like myself and others out there who are into the fantasy and horror and action and everything else, the fun stuff where most people are inspired to be in the industry. These are the subject matters that people, mostly of them, are, inspired to be. But as I mentioned in the beginning of this stream, is that all stories, all stories begin with a drama, excuse me, at its base. And then you build on top of that and however you want to go. Everything has drama, man. You cannot have a story without some kind of friction, right? There's something there that you have to see. Hey, I want to see what's going to happen next. I want to see if this person is going to win or not or whatever. Obviously. So it's going to be there. And and what's great about action films as well as sci-fi films and horror films and everything else. Well, one thing that's always a big, big nugget about these films, what I love so much. This is why I always loved this since I was a kid. This is why I have this GainesCon. It's because it reflects progression. It reflects bad, good, versus bad. Good beating bad. People moving forward, moving ahead, people building themselves, finding new spaces about new areas about themselves. It's always about going further, being physically fit. If how uh, being positive when it comes to health, like all of the things that can inspire you to maybe do better. Obviously you can't look like these superheroes on the screen. Obviously, it's like, yo, come on now, like damn, you know what I mean? Like, sheesh, you know what I mean? But at least it can also say, hey guys, you know what? You can do what you want to do. Just move forward. Do what you best you can. Just do the best you can. The best you can. Not a little, the best. And this is what we reflect. When you watch a big action film, you watch, maybe, like so for example, okay, listen, say the Odyssey is coming out now, right? What's the Odyssey represent? Obviously it's a fantasy film, but it represents strength, forward, progression, good versus evil, the complexities of life, moving through heartache, jubilations, all of that is into one film. All of that. You're going to have romance, you're going to have drama, you're going to have everything you need to make a great story for everyone. That's what Ozzy is going to be about. You look at Doomsday is coming out. Same thing. It's just different subject matter. It's going about progression. Good versus evil, triumph, trying to do better for yourself. Making sure that your goal is always to be strong mentally and strong physically. Making sure you have the longest life you could possibly have and do everything you want to do. Understand what it means to have a great group of friends and people around you. Making sure that you see something bad ahead of you and then move aside, how to or if you have to go through it, how to bust through the evil, how to bust through you know um adversity. These are things that the action, sci-fi, fantasy, and horror genre represents all the time, all the time. You know what I mean? That's why people could really gravitate. That's just why I made this space for GainesCon Film Festival in Las Vegas. I want to promote progression. I want to promote health and wellness. We want to promote people this moving in the right direction. We want to promote people that are always looking up, looking forward, looking ahead, finding ways to bust through the adversity, as I said. All of that. This is what we represent: positiveness, diversity, love, moving ahead, helping the others, bringing people along with you. This is what we're freaking about, man. This is what action, sci-fi, fantasy, horror is about. It's about that. I mean, a lot of times, not all the time, of course, not every single one, but majority of times, that's what it is. So this is why we love it so much. This is why I made this space, and this is why I just wanted to stream about and talk about this. is because it's something really, really cool that we're building here. And anybody who like to be involved with it, who wants to come to Vegas, hang out with us, build this with us, or just have questions about, more about what we do, please just reach out. I'll speak to you about that. And this year, 2026, it's going to be our third year, and we want to make this bigger and better, and that is our goal. And yes, and if you are interested in making a film festival, understand your first film festival, like your first year, it's not gonna be the best. It's not, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. You know what I mean? You always should say, I'm gonna get better and better and better and better. Not say I'm gonna be this is the best, and as far as it goes. You don't want that. You know what I mean? That'd be crazy. But you want to say, you know what, the first one's gonna be whatever. And as I grow with my friends and as my name, gets bigger, and as I, kind of understand how this whole thing works and what I really represent and what I really want to do and how I can help everyone that comes into my circle, that is a building block that everybody really wants to witness and want to be part of. And that's what you want. And that's what we're doing here. And we're very, very fortunate to have a great group of people that's following us, a great group of artists who submitted their films in the past 2 years, especially this last year. It's always a very, very fortunate thing. And before I go, I have to say this. It may sound a little corny. Yeah, it may sound a little corny, but to me, it holds true. Everybody has a light, and whatever your light is, people will see it who needs to see it. People who are not supposed to be in your circle will not see that light. This is why when you have people who do see your light, and those very people bringing people into your circle who didn't see the light in the first time, why you have problems. Those people who see the light will come to you. And a lot of times you'll see the light and you'll be attracted to them. You'll go to them. I really feel that way. And as long as everybody with the same light is together, that sees the things similarly, everyone's not going to be exactly the same, you know what I mean? But you're going to have people who will bring different ideas. But the premise, the base of what you want to do and what you support and where you want to go is with them as well, you know? So everyone's not going to be exactly the same because you want different ideas. You want people to expand your thoughts, as you are with them with your ideas and your suggestions and your opinions. But everyone's base is the same pretty much, where we want positiveness. We want people to move forward. We want to grow as people, as artists. We all want the same thing. And when people see that light, they'll come to you. So always understand that. That goes for life in general. I believe that. I live my life thinking of that. It worked for me so far, so good. Thank God. Some people slip through the light that you don't know about. You go, whoa, what? Hey, how you get here? And then, things have to happen and they have to, go away. But this is what this whole thing is about. So anyway, hey, everyone out there, love you guys. Anyone who, checked me out just now, you made it this far, you're still watching me. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and sitting to hear me just talk about, building a film festival, what my film festival is about, what it is to be part of something that's special, and also your ideas of what if you have a business or any idea how to stick to your guns. That's the hardest thing. Stick to your guns. But when you do, you're always going to triumph. So everyone out there, happy 2026. Let's make this the best year so far, and let's just keep moving forward. And everyone, anyone, everybody who wants to know anything about GainesCon Film Festival, just look me up. Also, Gaines Entertainment in Las Vegas, because I'm a filmmaker as well. So, of course, I film, I direct, I produce. So if you need some help with that, especially when it comes to branding, let me know. Go to GainesEntertainment.com. That's pretty easy. Or go to GainesCon Film Festival to see what we're going to do and what we have been doing. And keep an eye out for me, because we are going to open up submissions in Film Freeway and in EOFlix this year. So get your films ready, man. And we're going to have our festival this year, 2026, in December. I believe the 4th and 5th, either that or the 5th and 6th. But anyway, when it's out there, you'll see the date. It's going to be between those 3 days anyway. It's going to be a 2-day event, like always. Anyway, love you guys. Oh, and people out there who have helped me this year, thank you, everybody. Aaron, all you guys out there, love you guys. But I'll see you guys later. And any questions, hit me up. Love you guys. I'll be on again another time to talk about other things. And let's collab. All right? Peace.